Hello, my dear children. In our last class, we learned about the physical properties of metals and nonmetals. And today, we are going to learn about the chemical properties of metals and nonmetals. Okay, let's start our class. In this part, mainly you have to learn 4 different types of reactions. That is, reaction of metals and nonmetals with oxygen, with water, with acid, and last one is displacement reaction. First one, reaction with oxygen. We all are familiar with the process rusting of iron, right? Recall the reaction by which rust is formed. You had learned that process of oxide formation takes place here. That is, iron react with oxygen, water vapor in the air and form ferric oxide. That's what we commonly call as rust. That is, rusting of iron. Like that, magnesium react with air to form magnesium oxide. When copper exposed to air, it gets a green color coating. Here, the green color material is a mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. Normally, we use copper vessels in our home. When it is exposed to air, you can see this green color coating. Now you can see the chemical formulas of these substances. See children, this year you don't want to learn this chemical formulas. Next year only you are learning it in a detailed manner. Okay. So here copper react with water, carbon dioxide, oxygen to form copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. That is the first equation. 2Cu, Cu indicates copper, H2O is for water, carbon dioxide is CO2 and O2 is oxygen. On the other side, you can see copper hydroxide as CuOH twice and copper carbonate as CuCO3. You can see one more equation there, that is MgO. That is actually Mg is for magnesium. Magnesium chemical formula is Mg. Oxygen it is O2. So when magnesium metal react with air in the sense it combine with oxygen to form magnesium oxide, that is MgO. Here magnesium oxide is a metal oxide. Commonly we can call it as a metal oxide. That is, whenever a metal react with oxygen, it forms metal oxide. For example, if you take any other metals like sodium, sodium combines with oxygen to form sodium oxide. So that particular metal oxides are formed. Here, metal oxides, when dissolved in water, it forms a particular metal hydroxide. You can see example there, magnesium oxide, when it dissolved in water, it gives magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium metal normally we use, and when magnesium burn in air, it forms magnesium oxide. These ashes, you can see that as ashes, and these ashes when it is dissolved in water, it forms magnesium hydroxide. And the specialty is this magnesium, when it burns in air, it burns with a white color flame. Here, magnesium hydroxide is a basic solution. Last year we learned that normally hydrogen concentration is more in acids, whereas hydroxyl concentration is more in base. So here you can see magnesium hydroxide, it contains hydroxyl, so it is basic. So generally we can say that metal oxides are basic in nature. You can shortly remind this as MOB, M-O-B, MOB. That is, metal oxides are basic in nature. Okay, now if you learn this one, it will be easy for you because the same topic is there even in 10th standard. Okay, so once you learn this, it will be easy for you children. Here, non-metals such as sulfur react with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide, that is SO2, sulfur dioxide. When sulfur dioxide dissolved in water, it forms sulfurous acid. Sulfur dioxide dissolves in water and forms sulfurous acid. Here sulfurous acid, as the name indicates, it contains acid. So the hydrogen concentration is more in it, and here we can generally say that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So here the product is contain acid. So generally we can say that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So we learn metallic oxides are basic in nature, whereas non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. I hope you understand. Reaction of metals and non-metals with water. We know that sodium reacts vigorously with water, but some other metals do not react in the similar way. Example, iron. Iron reacts slowly with water. So we know that sodium metal is highly reactive. When it is exposed to air or in water, it easily catches fire. But at the same time, you can see iron, that also a metal, but it reacts very slowly with water. So that shows all the metals do not react in a similar way with water. Based on the reactivity of metals, they react in a different manner. Non-metals do not react with water, though they may be very reactive in air. Such non-metals are stored in water. Example, phosphorus. We know phosphorus is a reactive non-metal. It catches fire if exposed to air. So, to prevent the contact of phosphorus with oxygen, normally we store it in water. So here you can see how a metal and a non-metal react with water. You can see that they react in a different manner. Next one is reaction of metals and non-metals with acids. Here, non-metals do not react with acids. Okay, so metals react with acid to form a salt and hydrogen gas. Here, the formation of hydrogen gas can be identified by using a burning matchstick. If the gas burns with a pop sound, it indicates the production of hydrogen gas. So, metals only react with acids to form salt and hydrogen gas. You can see one example there. Zinc react with hydrochloric acid to form zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. So depends on the acid or the metal we use, the name of the salt changes. But hydrogen, the formation of hydrogen gas is common. Okay, so you can see the chemical formulas also there. So metals not only with acids, it react with bases also. And here you can see metals react with bases to form the same products such as salt and hydrogen gas. Okay. Next one is displacement reaction. In 7th standard, you already learned this process. Displacement reaction. I will give you one example. When we dip an iron nail in copper sulfate solution, actually the color of copper sulfate solution is blue. When you dip iron nail in copper sulfate solution, after some time the color of the solution changes. The color gradually fades away and becomes pale green in color. And on top of iron nail, you can see a brown color, a reddish brown color coating. This indicates the formation of copper. The pale green color indicates the formation of ferrous or iron sulfate. Here, the exact reaction is, we know iron and copper are metals. So here copper combined with sulfate to form copper sulfate. It's a solution. Here, the more reactive metal displaces the least reactive metal from its solution. Okay, so we have the reactivity that the highly reactive metal displaces the least reactive one from its solution. So in this example, you can see iron is more reactive than copper. So it displaces copper from its solution, that is from copper sulfate, and forms ferrous sulfate. And copper on top of iron, we can see it as a reddish brown coating. This is about displacement reaction. Okay. Today we learn about the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Now we can just revise what we learned. In this chapter, mainly we discussed about the properties of metals and non-metals. We discussed the physical and chemical properties of metals and non-metals. In our daily life, we are using different types of materials. So first we divided them into two, metals and non-metals. We are using it for different purposes. Am I right? So I hope you understand the physical and chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Thank you.